Assalamualaikum everyone, and here we are again with another influencer or blogger or content creator. She is Ayesha Azeem, mainly called the Canadian Pardesi, and she has been blogging for past like 1.5 years, and we have taken her on board for the next interview. So let's start it.
Assalamu alaikum and thank you for having me. I'm Ayesha Azeem. I'm Lahori based in Canada. I moved from Pakistan in 2017 to Canada with my family on an immigration. By profession, I've been a marketing professional for the last 10-12 years now, and I've worked in corporate sector in Pakistan in different companies. When I came here, I started writing blogs for the newcomers to Canada because as per my personal experience, I was like, whenever you move here, you have so many questions on your mind and you're trying to write in the Facebook groups and asking the people, and everyone would, just reply as per their experience. If they have moved like 5-10 years ago, they would just reply as per their experience, and it might not be relatable as per the circumstances now. So writing has been my passion, and I just wanted a space for people so that, if they can just log in and find my blogs useful. So I was just writing and working full-time side by side. However, after a while, I realized that, having so many expertise, I should start my own venture. And that's where the consultancy came in, and I started working with the small business as a marketing consultant. And Instagram, I became public in 2019, January. And the sole reason was to divert traffic from Instagram to my website, because Instagram was the new Insta blogging platform, and there were so many content creators out there, so I just wanted to be there. And there I was Canadian Pardesi, because I think that was very relatable to the people who were moving here, because Canadian Pardesi is a feeling. Canadian Pardesi is like, you're Canadian for all the people you have left home. They're like, okay, tum to chali gayi ho, tum to Canadian ho gayi ho, but at the heart, you're Pardesi here as well. You're an outsider here as well. No matter how much this place makes you feel like home, at heart, you're an immigrant, and at heart, you're always stuck between two places and divided between Lahore and Canada. So that's how people started relating to me, and I was just writing tips for the newcomers and sharing my lifestyle as an immigrant.
Okay, how relevant do you think your content is according to your followers? You have a huge following, and it's like from all sort of communities. How do you relate your content with them?
I think being an influencer or a content creator, there's a huge responsibility in terms of that, what you're telling people, and also a huge responsibility because you're not writing something that should not offend anyone. Because with the cultural barriers and everything, something in my culture might be a joke and something for them might be a humiliation. There's a very fine thin line. So you need to be very considerate whenever you're creating content, because you're just not there as you are. You're representing your country, you're representing the country you're living in. So what I do is I always take a poll on my stories, ask questions, because sometimes as a content creator, you're looking at your own stuff from a different perspective, like, okay, fine, I talk about this. However, audience are relating to it in some other way. So you need to communicate with audience that you're creating content for them, not just for you.
Exactly.
So it has to be very relatable, and the sole solution to all this thing is communicating with the audience.
Did you take any inspiration or influence from somebody before coming to the Instagram or getting public, or was it just solely your own decision that you
I was following on Instagram. I was on Instagram since 2017, but I was private. I was like, I'll just put on picture of a book that I'm reading or a scenery, and I would follow all the celebrities, Bollywood celebrities, Pakistani drama actors, and those were the only people I was following, just to see, okay, what's going on, but not the content creators. But when I became public, there were so many good people out there, so many people who were doing so good at it. My sole reason coming to Instagram was just to divert the traffic, and I wanted to test this thing. But as the community started growing, because the response, the feedback, everything is so instant here.
Okay.
Right? So it's very good to so it was very easy to connect with the community here. However, on website it's different.
Yes.
So yeah, that's how it made
I mean,
me stuck to
it's not
Instagram.
one on website, so it's difficult for you to gauge the response of your audience, basically.
Yeah, and then daily stories behind the scenes,
Yes.
that's what make people relate to you. So yeah,
Yes.
that was very good about the medium here, and that made me stuck to
So
Instagram.
what kind of response do you get on your stories normally? I mean, because I know I had been following you since we had to bring a lot of influencers on our board for the interview. So I had been following you religiously, to be honest, to check each and everything that you had been posting. So what kind of response do you get on the stories normally? Because I have seen you coming completely unfiltered on the stories. So what kind of response do you
Yeah,
get?
this actually made a lot of people comfortable in their skin, because I have been speaking to public on public platforms. I've been doing training for the organizations in my past career life, but to be true, coming on stories and talking to my own self was something that I took my time as well. But then once I did, initially I used to be like, just straighten my hair and put on some lipstick and be here, because I
Mhm.
always saw influencers very tip top, and I was like, me
Yes.
going as it is would be like, what is she doing, because there are 13,000 or 10,000 people looking at you.
Hmm.
Then I was like, no, this is not the message that I want to give. So
Hmm.
I come very raw, unfiltered, and sometimes I try pretty filters too to look pretty. But then I wanted everyone who's looking at me to be comfortable in their own skin, because in reality, as a mom, when you're
Hmm.
juggling with so many things,
Yes.
you don't have, at times, you don't have time right in the beginning of the day to get ready.
Yes.
Yeah, wearing clean clothes is something else, but you don't have time to straighten up your hair, or
Yes.
going,
Just to
when
come
you're
on the
going to work.
Instagram, basically.
Yeah, when you're going to work, the
Hmm.
you can do it, right?
Yes.
I used to straighten my hair every day, and it will be like, it was a part of the routine.
Yes.
But now when I'm home and working from home, there are times when I'm doing meetings in my PJs.
Hmm.
And I
So,
think that, being dressed up, the looks should not deceive you. You can be feeling accomplished while in PJs, and you can be feeling empty even
yes.
if you're dressed up like a princess.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
yeah.
So, sometimes it gets very difficult for influencers or bloggers to talk about something very sensitive, because you never know that what kind of response you're going to get from your followers. And I've seen you talking about your, your mishaps in life regarding your pregnancies and everything. So, what kind of response did you get from your audience? Was it very supportive, or somebody we just jumped in with their opinions, negative opinions as well?
Like, I've had, since I have a 12 years gap of kids in between, and
Hmm.
there were people who were assuming a lot of things, and there are people who would just, their first message would be something very
With that
inappropriate.
desi auntie
Yeah,
thoughts.
very inappropriate, not even saying salam and jumping to something very personal.
Hmm.
I've been very vocal about my personal experience, and I've shared my vulnerability with people. And when I was going through that time, when I had miscarriages in my life, probably I did not have anyone to talk to.
Hmm.
I had my siblings, all my sisters are doctor, but sometimes you're not comfortable talking about how you feel, not even to your spouse, because it would put an extra pressure on their mind, that extra stress. You're
Yes.
going through that. You don't want the emotions to be going there.
Yes.
So when I talked about my high risk pregnancy or my miscarriages and how I felt, there were so many women out there who actually messaged me, who were going through it. Even somebody who has read my post 6 months ago, they would, if they're going through it now, they would just
Hmm.
come and message me that, thank you, it has made me comfortable talking to you, or it was relatable, or that was the post that I came across.
Hmm.
And it was huge trust that people were putting in me, sharing their inside feelings, how they're going through it. So yeah,
So
thanks to
how
all of them
difficult
who trusted me.
how difficult is it to respond, because if somebody is following you, I do understand they consider this thing their right, that you have to answer them. How difficult is it to manage their expectations accordingly?
It's very difficult. They don't know what time zone you are. They don't care, because sometimes if they have not corresponded with you before, their message might be in general messages. I am very regular in replying to DMs daily, but then their message might be in general, and that might be like, I might look at it at the end of the day, like the last thing, and they might be waiting for my response this morning. And in the meanwhile, they might have a conversation. Oh, you did not reply. Oh, you're like this. Oh, you're like this. Okay, I'm following you. So there are people with less patience, and there are people with great patience who are like, okay, take your time. I understand you have kids, and just get back to me whenever. And then I would say that, just remind me if I don't.
Okay.
Because in DMs, everything is lost. So it's very difficult.
What about that all social media negativity and, that a chunk of people who had been really negative towards the influencers? Lately, we had been seeing on the Twitter as well that, there is a war that has been started between Instagram influencers and Twitter influencers. So how do you cope up with that?
I call them keyboard warriors, because excuse me, it's very easy that you have keyboard and you can write anything you feel. People are very accessible now, even the celebrities, because before the social media, they might not even know what's going on, and their PR or somebody would tell them filtered situation or filtered comments. But now they're handling their Instagram themselves, that has connected them to their audience, but on the other hand has made them accessible to anyone. So I say be kind, because even as an influencer, be kind, or even as a follower, be kind, because you do not know what somebody is going through, and you might see something and you might have a thought that this should have been that way. It's not necessary to comment on everything, or maybe the unfiltered comments or the hatred. Like I say that even if you see people after a long time and you greet them with something negative, so a lot of people do that.
We do understand that you cannot like everybody, or you cannot like everything.
Everybody is not biryani or Nutella.
Exactly.
You're not going to please everyone.
And you don't have to be opinionated about everything.
No. Even as a content creator, there might be people who do not like you, and they might unfollow you, or they might send you messages that are mean. But then you need to have a crocodile skin, because you're public, and that has some cost to pay. But I think being kind is the basic thing that somebody should be looking at.
So how do you feel that how commercial Instagram has become? I mean, does influencing or content creation has solely become a commercial thing, or there are some influencers who literally just want to create the content for themselves or their followers as well?
See, even if those people who are creating content for their followers to do the value addition, the campaigns would come in, right? But then the followers need to understand that if they're enjoying the free content, there is a cost, there is a time, there's energy running the blog or running Instagram. And if an influencer is being compensated in some way with the campaign, with the brand, it's okay. So they don't have to look at it like, oh, isne istihar shuru kar diya, oh, isne bhi ye kar diya, isme kya farak baat hai. But then it's important to understand that, if a brand is working with the collaborate influencer, or if an influencer is working with a brand, तो उसने उससे पहले उसको बहुत दफा फिल्टर किया होता है, right?
Exactly.
हर कैंपेन हर इन्फ्लुएंसर नहीं लेता है. They need to know कि क्या वो उसकी ब्रांड से मैच करेगा. Is it going with the values that the whole philosophy of the Instagram persona or Instagram brand that she or he is having?
And there is a proper hard work behind this thing. So you're right.
Select करने से पहले भी एक hard work होता है, तो वो एक चीज आपके सामने आती है. और besides the being paid for it, the reviews are mostly genuine. I've seen a lot of people talking to brands that, okay, fine, but then I would review it as per my personal experience.
Okay. So how do you take the brands, on board? I have seen a lot of bloggers who had been, because me being a part of agency, we had been handling a lot of clients' profiles and PR as well. So I have seen a lot of bloggers, even if they are with thousands of followers, they keep on budging to the, they keep on sending messages to the brands to send them product, even if they don't want to use it. just for the sake of it. I mean, you never know that maybe it's a cosmetic and it suits your skin or not. You just want to be on their PR list. How good is it? I mean, do you have to be on each brand's PR list, or it should be, you know, according to your content only?
Having so many excess of products that you don't even know that you need.
Yes.
Is not going to make you grow, because even if you select or purchase few products that you use and you share it with your people, they're going to take benefit from it. And you might never know that if you're making a content for a brand that is not even paid, right?
Yes.
User generated content that we say, and they might take you on board in future. You never know.
Yes.
So try to stick to things that you use and try to stick to things that you need. Just having PR for the sake of it because you need story every day to open the PR package is not okay, because that is going to make your followers also think that what is going on.
Yes, it makes
and
it
then
more
you
commercial,
open the PR
basically.
and do not use it then, because if it has to be the whole thing. If I, like yesterday we were talking about, if I've done a campaign with the vacuum cleaner and suddenly I'm like not doing it anymore, it's like, okay, fine, I was vacuuming for only 3 days. No, it has to be part of your lifestyle, and that's how brands also wants to see, not just having the PR package opening and reveling and unraveling. And yes.
So one, I would just sum it up here. How do you see your future, or influencers or content creators future who had been putting real hard? And I have seen a lot of good influencers who had been doing really, really hard for the content creation. I mean, they go out of the box to create or generate content for their audience or for their followers. So how do you see the future of yourself and for all the influencers here?
Well, it's a $1 billion industry, I would say, and a lot of brands are just focusing on the influencer marketing rather than going for the traditional media. But then that being said, a lot of people are becoming content creators like mushrooms everywhere. So only those people would stand out who have the credibility, who have the community, and who have the transparency with their followers with great content.
That does not mean that others' content.
Yes, no plagiarism and giving due credits and coming up with creativity and value addition for the audience.
I've seen obviously people are even stealing others' pictures as well. I mean, it's very obnoxious or something very bad that you don't even give credit to somebody who has put so much hard to create that content.
I've heard that they're hacking the account and selling the account as well.
Wow.
Because it has followers. So so I always say that Instagram is a rented land that you're living on. So try to build your own website and your own stuff if you really want to pursue it seriously, and try to build your empire on the other platforms too. So that being said, I would say that there is a huge opportunity. If you think that you're too late to start, no, you're not.
It takes a little time, but you have to be consistent and genuine. Basically,
be consistent, be genuine. Even if you start today, after a year, if you're being consistent, you would be somewhere. If you have that fire, passion, and everything that you want to create content for. But creating content just for the sake of it, okay, fine, everyone's there. Don't go for the Me Too strategy. So you need to have your own I would say competitive advantage when comes to the marketing terms here. You need to have that, because there are so many content creators out there. There's so much content, and not everyone can read everything.
Exactly.
So that's
what a lot of followers, even they just look at your picture and they just like and say, oh, pretty. They don't even read your captions. I mean, there are such people as well on the Instagram.
And then there are such people who would read every caption and reply to everything. So there are people out there, if you're writing captions, being heavy on the captions, it's okay, do this everything. Because
if we talk about the captions, Ayesha, I mean, I've seen lately it had not been like this in the past on Instagram. It used to be only a picture medium. You just take the nice pictures and you put it on the Instagram. But now lately, a lot of influencers and content writers, they have started using it for the big captions. I mean, a full sort of article is under their picture
Yeah.
as a caption. How good or relatable is it? Does it really help?
Well, I think Instagram is not that instant gram anymore. It's like a planogram, because you need to plan the content, the caption, the picture, everything. You need to plan ahead, because it's become a micro blogging platform. The conventional blogging, a lot of people are not going to the website to read the whole article, and they're just reading it. So I think having a bigger caption helps in engagement and helps in value addition as well, because if you're talking to a friend, you and trying to explain something, you will not just write one line, you will write a paragraph. If you're explaining a new thing to somebody, right? So if you write your caption in a way that, Javelia is my friend and reading the whole caption, then there will be a personal connection in the caption that you would feel to.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I always go for long captions.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayesha. It was really a pleasure having you, and definitely we'll be taking you on board again.
Thank you so much for shortlisting me, considering me, because I became public when I came here, and something from Pakistan and being considered as one. Thank you so much, because it was really an emotional experience for me.
That's completely a pleasure for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Allah Hafiz.